I'm doing this video at the suggestion of my friend Ian. Last weekend I went to a film fair in London, and having a rummage through the stalls and the boxes and that, I spied this book, um, which I've known about since late 80s, early 90s. It's the UFO Supervisual Town Mook. All right, basically a Japanese photo book on UFO. I think I learnt about these first in Starlog, or one of the American magazines, and then became aware of it in the catalogues for Comic Miniatures, Tony James's old shop, and they were always flaming expensive, the UFO one and the Space 1999 one. And I can remember in the early days of eBay buying the Space 1999 one, and I think I sold it on a few years later, and never encountered the UFO one until 5 days ago, when I was up in London at this film fair, and there it was in a bag for £15, which I was rather amazed by. Usually when you go to a film fair, the sellers are quite savvy and they know the cost of things. This book, on the rare occasions I see it online for sale, it goes for an awful lot more. £15. So I had to have it, and so I bought it, and that was going to be that. But Ian suggested, could you do a little video on it, because I've never seen inside one before. So here we are. This is a Super Visual Town Mook, and as I say, basically it's a photo book. Let's get on with it, shall we? So yeah, being Japanese, you read it from the back to the front. Now, let me see if I can do this, because this is going to get a bit tricky. I'm going to come back to that bit at the end if I can remember, all right? But that little bit there, that little blurb at the beginning, is that little blurb there. Jerry Anderson's UFO. Where do the mysterious UFOs come from? Who are the unknown visitors from outer space? Why do they come? These are the questions that Commander Straker and the secret underground organization Shadow seek to answer. Fair enough. So let's have a look. As I say, I'll come back to that bit. So what you've got is an awful lot of photos, and an awful lot of incredibly rare photos. So we start off with the opening is, all about the UFOs. Then we go into Shadow headquarters. Then we've got the moon base. And before we get even any further into it, a problem there is with this is, while a lot of these shots are brilliant and some of them incredibly rare, they're incredibly small. You see, I would much rather have seen a larger format book, 3 or 4 volumes, giving the photos justice, because there's just so much crammed in to each page. So yeah, moon base, and then we got Skydiver and Sky One, Shadowmobiles, classic episode, Sound of Silence there. But look at the size of the photos. They're brilliant photos, but they're just so small. But it's okay. I'm enjoying it. We've got the seldom seen rocket tank. So along we go. Lovely reference photos, but really, again, a bit of a moan. They are a bit too small. Yeah. So it's about this point where I go, oh. And I go, oh, because now I don't know if this is just the printing of the book, and the book is quite old now, but the quality of some of these photos is rather peculiar. Everything starts looking very orange. Now, I know we were going into the 70s, and I don't know if my camera's picking this up, but the picture quality as we go through, isn't that hot? Actually, I think looking on my phone here, they look better than they actually are. Oh, my #1 crush of the show. So yeah, everyone gets a look in. Very, very good. But can you see that? No, my phone's making these out to be better than they are. They are quite grainy, and they've got like an almost sepia tint to them. Maybe the book's just old. Oh look, like from Jason and the Argonauts. So fantastic book, fantastic amount of photos. I just wish they were a bit bigger. So we're at the back now, so there's an awful lot of text. Before it's a photo guidebook, now we're into the text. Oh, I met him. That's Darren Nesbitt, who played Craig Collins. I met him at that very film fair. Oh, bloody idiot. It's just occurred to me, why didn't I ask him to sign this? Answer, that's the only photo I found of him so far. He would have covered himself up, wouldn't he? So there you go. It's just into the black and white section at the back. It is exhaustive, but just, I keep saying it, they're far too small. But I guess back when this came out, you know, if you got this, I mean, there weren't books like this around at that time. You would have lapped this up, wouldn't you? Yeah. So, yeah, at the back, right, there's the Space 1999 one. I don't know what the blooming heck that is. Does anyone know what this is? Can you see that? I have absolutely no idea. It looks like Deja Thoris from John Carter, but it's not. No. So yeah, answers on a postcard for that one. Yeah, no, and at the beginning you have this thing, which is a pull-out poster of the hardware, which, let me flip them over. Excellent reference photos, just a tad small. So I'm very glad I got it, and it is a nice little snapshot of UFO memorabilia. It would be nice if somebody reissued it, just bigger and multiple volumes. All right. One last flick through. So there you go, Ian. That's what it's like. I would say, yeah, that's not a bad price, 15 quid. I wouldn't wanted to have paid over 45 or 50 for it. All right, okay, Ian, there you go. Video done.